In late 1941, in the North African theater, Germany and Italy seemed to be on the back foot. The Allies were advancing and Rommel's Africa Corps was short on fuel, men, and momentum. But then, in early 1942, the Desert Fox turned the tide, but it wasn't just because of his tactics or reinforcements. It was also intel, coming straight from an American officer named Bonner Fellers, but the Axis knew him as the good source. Fellers was a U.S. military attaché in Egypt and had full access to British war plans, orders of battle, supply status, even convoy schedules. He sent all this back to Washington via coded radiograms. But the code he used, known as the Black Code, had been compromised. In September 1941, Italian spies had stolen the cipher from the U.S. Embassy in Rome, and soon German cryptanalysts cracked it as well. This meant Rommel's staff was soon able to read every word Fellers wrote within hours. And what was the result of this? In mid-June, Fellers had reported the details of two British convoys, Operations Vigorous and Harpoon, which were meant to resupply the besieged island of Malta, but Axis planes, ships, and submarines were waiting. Harpoon was so mauled that only two merchant ships made it through, and the Vigorous convoy never even reached Malta, having to turn back under heavy attack. At the same time, the British were suffering a heavy defeat in the Battle of Gazala. This was because Fellers, without knowing it, had provided the Axis with a tactical roadmap of the battlefield. His reports gave Rommel near-total visibility over British dispositions, strengths, and weaknesses. Fellers had described where British units were stationed, how prepared they were for combat, the state of their supplies, and the vulnerability of their southern flank. Crucially, he relayed that British command did not expect a major offensive, a conclusion Rommel took full advantage of. Armed with this intelligence, Rommel executed a bold, sweeping maneuver around the southern end of the British line, precisely where Fellers had noted it was weakest. He bypassed minefields, struck rear positions, and trapped Allied forces in a pincer movement. The British command was too slow to react, and within days, their forces were in full retreat. Tobruk, once a symbol of Allied resistance, fell on June 21, 1942, with more than 30,000 troops taken prisoner. The leaks would only stop when Fellers switched codes on June 29th and then transferred out in July, eventually reaching the Pacific in the summer of 1943. While Rommel is remembered as one of Germany's best generals during the war, many forget that it was the Allies who helped cement his legacy as the Desert Fox. Just imagine if the Axis did not have access to Fellers' clear and detailed reports.